Manitoba has more than 10% of First Nation population, which is largest indigenous group in the province, and the First Nation people have 2 to 4 times higher type 2 diabetes compared to general population. So from previous study, we know that breastfeeding exclusively for 6 months or more potentially bring health benefits to women and children. So our question is that because many women cannot do 6 months exclusive breastfeeding, we think whether breastfeeding initiation for a certain time will bring benefits to women and children in terms of diabetes. So we conduct a historical prospective database study using the complete provincial-wide Manitoba Health database, and which including breastfeeding records in hospital before they discharge. So that's usually 48 hours after delivery. So this study including more than 330,000 delivery from more than 180,000 women, and 25% of delivery is from First Nation. So we, in the table 1, so we can see the woman without a breastfeeding initiation tends to be younger age, more First Nation, more gestational diabetes, and high parity, and low income family, and living in rural area. So table 2, for the demographics data for children, so we can see because our previous study suggests that children younger than 7 will not likely will develop type 2 diabetes. The youngest type 2 in Manitoba is 7 years old. So we exclude children born before 2004. So they at 2011 they are over 7 years old. So we see in these children they have at least twice more children found in the group they never have breastfeeding. For the figure 1, we choose the survival curve using Kaplan-Meier analysis. On the left, that's for mother. So it's the vertical axis for diabetes prevalence, and for the horizontal for years we follow up, 24 years. The top line for the left curve, that's First Nation mother without breastfeeding initiation. Then second will be First Nation mother with breastfeeding. We can see breastfeeding initiation decrease the prevalence of diabetes all the way. And a similar trend we can see the 2 line below for non-First Nation women, and breastfeeding also decrease the risk for diabetes. For the right curve, that's for offspring, so we can see, although the difference is smaller, but we can see there is inhibitory effect of breastfeeding initiation on the diabetes in children that's before 24 within the 24-year follow-up. And we analyze the relationship using Cox regulation model, and we found the breastfeeding cross the line for the First Nation, non-First Nation with or without gestational diabetes all have protective effect. Seems the effect is greater in non-First Nation women without gestational diabetes. And this effect also see in children. It's moderate but significant. For this figure, I summarize the extent of breastfeeding initiation on the First Nation mother, non-First Nation mother, and the children. We can see breastfeeding initiation in this study inhibited diabetes in First Nation mother by 14%, by 22% for non-First Nation mother, and by 18% for offspring. So I jump the summary, just make the conclusion for the time reason. So our study for the first time provided evidence that breastfeeding initiation it was able to reduce the risk of diabetes in mother and children. Thank you.
Thank you very much.